I'm taking on one of the toughest challenges in FIFA, winning the Champions League with Athletic Bilbao. And trust me, with the rules that we've got in place, this is going to be one of the hardest saves I have ever done. So first, just like in real life, we can only sign players from the Basque region. This is already one of the toughest transfer policies in football. Second, any Basque players that we sign from Real Sociedad has to use their release clause. We're not going to bid on any of their players, only release clauses, because there's no chance that they would accept any bids in real life. Third, all academy players must have a Basque first or surname or be under the age of 14, just like Griezmann was back in the day. And finally, what I call the Nico Williams clause. If a bid comes in for anyone who's rated over 85 that exceeds their market value, I have to accept it. This means that we could lose our best players when we need them the most, especially further on into the save. Honestly, without that Nico clause, I'd probably end up keeping until he's 40, but rules are rules, and this could be one of the hardest saves I have ever done. Let's have a look at our squad. You already know we've got some really good talent on the wings thanks to the Williams brothers coming through our academy. Our defence is also decent, but DeMarcos and Pachiche are a combined 70 years old, so fullbacks is where our scouts are going to be looking first. We already have Sergio Vergara in our academy, but he's a bit pants and barely passes his Basque. Now, on to tactics, and I've already made two tactics for this team. The first is the default Valverde 4-2-3-1 that Bilbao use in real life, but we're also going to test this 4-4-2 in pre-season. It's very similar to Arteta's system at Arsenal, but mixed with the 4-4-2 that Valverde used at Barcelona. A little fun fact for you as well, Arteta is actually from the Basque region, so I guess even our team sheets are following the Basque policy. So there really isn't that many players we can buy in this first transfer window. We did receive a few bids. Atletico wanted Ruiz de Galarreta, but basically offered no money. Leipzig wanted Iñaki Williams, but again, only wanted to give us an older Willy Orban that wouldn't fit into the Basque policy. We also loaned out Padilla, a Mexican Basque player that's going to be our future goalkeeper. So let's also figure out which formation we should be using. We've got two games, one against Newcastle and one against Augsburg. So the first game against Newcastle, I'm going to go with 4-4-2 in this one, but of course things don't go quite to plan. I was feeling quite good, but Isaac decided to turn into prime Ronaldo and he would bag a hat-trick before half-time. We were playing a very high line in this match, so it's probably back to the drawing board on that tactic. Augsburg next up then, and let's go back to the 4-2-3-1. To be honest, straight away, it's better. Nico steps up and bangs a free kick top bins, and Sansei is everywhere, where we totally control the game. We grab a 2-0 win, but we've dominated, and I've got no doubt that we have to use this formation this season. I'm actually interested to know what you think though. Should we stick with the 4-2-3-1, or should we give the 4-4-2 another go later in the season? Drop a comment below and let me know what formation you'd run with. So with pre-season over, it's time to have a look at our first intake, and also try and figure out who's Basque and who we need to sign. We're going to use ChatGPT to decide, and he would borderline let us have Rivero, but he's not ever going to be good enough anyway. The rest of the players in this intake are purely Spanish, so no good for our Bilbao Basque policy. Our Andorra and France scouts also only provide Catalan and French names, annoying, but to be honest, that's totally expected. So this episode, I'll be playing these first three matches. Next episode, we'll cover our Europa League campaign, and the episode after, we'll finish the season and play any cup finals if we do manage to make it that far. I'm assuming we'll need at least 5 years to build a Champions League winning level team, so make sure you subscribe because this is going to be a very long series. Okay, here we go, our first big test of the season against Getafe. They're always a tough team to break down. They play 4-4-1-1 and counter-attacking, and that's such a good combination for the AI to use. But we're at the San Mames, and we need to make this a fortress if we're going to do anything in La Liga. The match kicks off, and it's pretty cagey early on. It just feels like both sides are trying to feel each other out, which is classic Getafe. We're trying to keep possession, but the wind is also really strong, and they're sitting quite deep, so it is tough to get the final ball or the cross right at the end of each move. But then about 20 minutes in, Getafe win a free kick just outside the box, and one moment of carelessness, suddenly Getafe whip it in the top corner. We're 1-0 down, and Mayoral's set-piece delivery was absolutely perfect. It's frustrating, but there's still plenty of time to turn this game around. Second half kicks off, and you can already see the wind is now on our side. Shooting into it is such an advantage, and Getafe are feeling happy just to sit back and hold on to the 1-0. We're pushing them deeper and deeper into their own half. We'll get a few half chances, but Nico can't quite score. And when he does score, he's offside. It's one of the closest calls I've ever seen in a FIFA game, but I'm not actually sure the referee got this one right. Anyway, in the 73rd minute, we get a huge lifeline. Alvaro Diallo bursts into the box, he skins his man and gets taken down. I'm not sure what the defender was thinking with that tackle, but the referee points to the spot, and this is massive. Sancet steps up to take it, deep breath, and slams it into the top corner. The keeper doesn't even have to dive, we're back level, and it's 1-1. The San Mames crowd goes wild, and you can already feel the momentum shifting, but we're not done yet. We stop a Getafe counter-attack before it can get too dangerous. DeMarcos moves the ball up to Berenguer, and then Sancet chips it through to Nico. He cuts inside. Diallo is there, he keeps his cool and slots it past the keeper. Just like that, we've turned it around, it's 2-1 to Athletic Club, and Diallo is absolutely the super sub. A goal and an assist, what a response after half time. After that, we managed the game pretty well. Getafe tried to push for an equaliser, but our defence is way too experienced. It's a massive 3 points, and Diallo's winner could be a turning point in a disastrous pre-season, turning into a pretty decent season in La Liga. In the week between matches, we don't really have to do too much. There's no transfer offers, there's no youth scouts to look at, so we're going straight in again against Barcelona. It's a huge one, and we already know we're not going to outplay them on possession, so we set up pretty defensively and try and aim to hit them on the break as much as we can. If we can keep it tight at the back and fight for a clean sheet, I'll be a happy man with a 0-0. Even on Parc de Bus, we somehow managed to create a couple of chances early on. Ter Stegen had to make a good save from this shot, and there was a moment where we did nearly get in behind, but their defence recovered just in time. That's basically the entire game though. Unai Simon was absolutely on top form, and he made a ton of saves. We got a few lucky bounces that led to chances, and nothing would really come off. 0-0 might not seem like the most exciting result, but this is going to be a massive point for us. It wasn't about beautiful football, but it's the kind of football that helps you win competitions in Europe. So it's going to be good practice, even if the game was kind of dull. So it is still August, and we've not had too long to learn about our squad yet, but there is still time to improve it. I think I know just the guy to fix our lack of fullback and lack of centre-back depth. Now, I don't need to tell you who Azpilicueta is. This man has won it all. Premier League titles, FA Cups, the Champions League, and even the Europa League. He's a born winner. And now at 34 years old, he's coming home to the Basque region, and honestly, I was pretty tempted to give him the armband. We're not going to do that though, we'll stick with Iñaki Williams as our captain, but Azpilicueta gives us a ton of composure at the back, and realistically, it's like having two captains on the pitch. Okay, so for the last time this episode, we're going to play another match. It's against Valencia, and Azpilicueta is going straight into the team. In fact, straight from kickoff, we are all over them. We knew that Valencia were going to sit deep, and we've had them pinned into their own half for most of the first 45 minutes. In many ways, it was possession football at its finest. Sancet was pulling the strings in midfield, he was spreading the ball out wide to Nico and Iñaki, and they were giving Valencia's fullback a real headache. We've had a couple of decent chances, Nico would send one just wide, and Iñaki's pace almost got him through here, but the keeper would make a good save. In fact, we get a corner, and after a couple of them in a row, the ball would drop to Azpilicueta in the edge of the box, and he would smash it off the post. So unlucky. Valencia kept scrambling to clear their lines, and you could feel the tension rising everywhere in the stadium. With about 30 minutes left, Iñaki would finally get in, and finally beat the goalkeeper, putting us 1-0 up. That was a trademark Iñaki inside forward kind of finish. There's no way that any goalkeeper can stop a shot with that much power. So now we just had to hold on for 30 more minutes and we would have our second win of the season. Because they were now behind, Valencia started to attack and it paid off big time with just 10 minutes to go. Unai Simon palming the ball to Unai Gomez. Things were level yet again. We had one last attack with Sancet, but Valencia would get the ball, they would clear it, and I have to say we're pretty disappointed that we only got a point out of this game against Valencia. Alright, so the transfer window is still open and we've got some really big news. Bayern Munich have just come in with a bid for Unai Simon. You already know the rules of this save from the start of this video. If we get a bid for any player rated over 85 that's over their value, we have to accept it. But there's a twist to this one, it's not a cash deal, it's a swap deal. Now, I don't need to tell you this, that Unai is absolutely crucial to the team. He's one of the best keepers in the game, he's Basque, and replacing him would be nearly impossible. But according to the Nico Clause, if we can negotiate this deal and Bayern agrees to play over his market value, I'll have no choice but to accept this offer. This is the most stressful part of the challenge, and here's where I need your help. Drop a comment below and tell me what you would do here. Would you try and squeeze more out of Bayern Munich and take the cash and try and improve the rest of the squad? Or is it too risky to even think about letting Unai Simon go? Of course, we can't take Upamecano because he isn't Basque in any way, so this could be a massive turning point for our season. I want to know what you guys think before I finalise the deal. In the next episode, we're going to be diving straight into our Europa League campaign. Hopefully we can make it through the group stages with this squad, but you'll have to wait and see how that goes. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and hopefully you'll be back for episode 2, where we're going to try and solve the Unai Simon question. Thanks for watching, really do appreciate it. Cheers and goodbye.